Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. And today we are going to be designing a cinematic riser in Reaktor. So, first things first, we're going to open up Reaktor. We're going to open up a fresh version of Reaktor, and we are going to start. So, there's three options inside of Reaktor. One is to play. The next is to patch. And finally, the final option is to build inside of Reaktor. So, let's get started. So I'm DannyXander, and today I'm going to show you how to build a unique glitchy percussion loop from scratch using Reaktor. So So I just want to welcome you to the stream, and today we're going to create a cinematic riser in Reaktor, and this is perfect for adding tension to your music or for film projects. If you're joining live, feel free to ask questions in the chat, and first of all, we'll need a note in, so we're going to do the builds option. We're going to need a note in, and we're going to add it in. So we need a note in. The next thing we're going to need is an oscillator. So we're going to choose an oscillator from the section. There's three sections here. One is play, one is library, and one is files. Inside of Reaktor, you can activate the info hints by clicking on the info button in the top right, and that should activate it so you can see what each section does. This one shows all of your instruments and effects, while the next section shows your library, factory content, and the third one shows the files which are in your system. So now we're going to build. We've added our note in, and let's use a saw wave to give a rich texture. So we're going to add in an oscillator, and it's going to look like this. And we're going to add in one more piece. We're going to connect the oscillator to a VCA, and from that VCA, we're going to add in a mix 4. So let's add that in. Okay. And let's add in the mix 4. Okay. Now, so we have the basic components of our synth. So now to create the riser, this will be the setup of our foundation, and I'm just going to show you how that looks. We're going to connect it up, and we're going to connect it up, and then we're going to connect this up. So let's do that. Just have to close that program out so we can actually use Reaktor. So now we have a sound coming in, and we have a sound coming in here from the VCA, from the pitch of the oscillator through the VCA out to our speakers. And now I'm going to add in a saw to get some texture. I'm also going to add in a scope This allows us to visualize our waveform. As you can see. And that's what we have so far. So now to create the pitch riser, we're going to add an envelope control to control the rise over time and a ramp module for the pitch modulation. So I'm going to figure out which one we need. So let's see. We're going to use a envelope. And connect that to the gate. Got a gate signal. Turn up the modulation depth. So we now have control. So that's our sound so far. We can then save, because I like that sound, so we're going to save a snapshot of it just in slot 2. So we'll call this, we accidentally made a cool sound, so we'll save it. We'll save it in the embedded bank. And then we'll go back to our patch. And now let's add in something so that we can control the pitch. Let's see here. Let's bring in our LFO. Gonna bring in and add an LFO to the oscillator. It's gonna modulate that. So let's modulate the pitch. Okay, let's turn it down a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to connect the ramp to the pitch of the input of the oscillator and adjust it to slowly rise over a few seconds. So let's see. A little bit of experimentation, but we'll get it. Okay. Just going to adjust until we can get our sound going. Okay, so let's keep adjusting. So we're getting somewhat of a riser sound. Okay. So now change the shape of the LFO. Let's go the opposite direction. Got our riser to get a rising sound. And then we're going to add in some effects. Let's bring in some effects and let's bring in some effects. So we're going to go into the Into box, add in a rounds, add some reverb, make it more dramatic of an effect. Add a little grit to it, little delay, a little grit. Let's make it a little faster. Okay, so let's organize our panel. We got a basic sound going, and now we're just making some final tweaks. We set up our basic oscillator. We added in a pitch, some modulation through an LFO. We layered sounds, applied effects to create this sound of a riser. Thanks for joining today, and don't forget to follow for more sound design tips and tutorials, and see you next time. And this is our full built out riser sound, so feel free to take this, adapt this, and make it your own. Until next time, peace out.